Hi, Dave from Buzzy here. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive into using Figma to edit an app you've generated with Buzzy to change the UI. So I've gone ahead, I've created an app off the Buzzy website, used one of the example prompts. It's Project Task Tracker, excuse me. Buzzy's created this app for me. It's populated it with some data. Here it is. I've got projects, there's tasks within projects and so on. This is a working app. If I jump into the workspace for this app, let me just bring this up a bit. There we go. So this is our project app here, Project Task Tracker. In the Buzzy workspace, you can see the data and so on. This is a real app. This is working databases and so on. It's been created on the fly, so I've saved a ton of time just right off the bat using AI to generate this stuff. The design, I can edit because I can use Figma. So you can use the AI editor from the workspace, or you can use Figma. AI editor is great for simple changes, just switch the theme, update stuff. You can do you can make database changes and so on. If you want to get into the UI and get hands-on with it and make a lot of deep changes, Figma and the Buzzy plugins the way to go. So I've generated this app. Now I need to edit it in Figma. So I need to pull this app into Figma. The way I do this is I get the Buzzy UI kit. You can search Figma community for the Buzzy UI toolkit. And you'll pull the app from the Buzzy workspace into Figma. It'll generate the screens and so on within Figma, and you can edit them there, then republish back to Buzzy. If you've got your own design system or your own user interface design set up for an app, you can actually just start in Figma, get the Buzzy plugin, mark up your design directly in Figma, and publish it straight to Buzzy from Figma. So you don't need to use the Buzzy AI to start with. You can start from a design and mark it up yourself. We've gone the AI route, pardon me. Created this app, here it is, and we're going to go and edit this. So I'm going to jump over to Figma. This is the toolkit file. So when you go and get the toolkit from Figma community, this the sort of page you'll see, you can click open in Figma. You copy that file down into your Figma drafts folder. I've already done that. Here it is. You'll see 3 pages here. There's a getting started page, which has got a bunch of instructions and information. Your app here page, which is a blank canvas, and this is where we're going to import our app into, and a components page, and this is basically a design system that Buzzy set up. So these are all buttons and user interface elements and so on that we have set up that the Buzzy AI can recognize. So when you import an app in here into your app here screen or canvas, these components are what the AI uses to pull together the interface for you dynamically. You can use this as a starter file to create your own interfaces, or you can go and bring in your own design system or whatever. We're just going to import directly into here. So we're going to run the Buzzy plugin, and now we need to import that app we just created. Now, a little bit of a gotcha. If you've used the plugin before, you'll have probably exited the wizard mode. So rather than starting up in wizard mode, you'll have gone into stuff, and to import, you need to start from the wizard mode, assuming you've got Buzzy AI access and so on. So if you turn on Buzzy, if you go to the settings tab in the plugin, go to turn the wizard mode back on, and you're back in the start screen, and that's where you can import an existing app. So make sure I'm in the toolkit, make sure my components are ready to go there, but I need to be in the Your App Here page. And this is where we're going to import our design. So we can import an existing app. This will just take a while to go look for things. Here we go. So it knows my plugin's already logged into Buzzy. It's gone and searched for apps I've recently created. Project Task Tracker, there it is. We can go and grab this one. So if I select that, hit continue. It's recognized that this app exists in Buzzy. It's already got a data model and everything. What it needs to do next is import it to Figma, so we'll let it go ahead and do that. You'll see it's telling me it's creating screens on canvas, and you'll see the canvas over here, my layers start to update on the fly. It says it's going to take 4 minutes. It's normally way less than that. You'll see it updating as we go. If I zoom out, you'll see screens just appearing on our canvas there. There we go, it's already done. So that was, literally a few seconds. It's created 38 screens. So you'll see this was an empty canvas before. Buzzy plugin and the AI has now grabbed the components and built these screens. These are already marked up. If we continue, and we're going to go and edit the app. It tells us we're going to exit the wizard now. So if we want to import another app later, we need to go back into wizard mode. But we'll exit for now because we want to go edit this app. The screens it's created have already been marked up with the Buzzy plugin. So if we jump into here and go to the design tab, we can see this is a screen, it's the start screen, and so on. As you dive down into this, you'll see that these elements are marked up with Buzzy actions and properties and so on. This is already to go. If I hit publish again, this would update our Buzzy app, our live Buzzy app. We can make some changes first. So the first thing we need to explore is themes. So Buzzy ships with 3 themes. They're set up as variables in Figma. So if you go to a page in your Figma file, we've imported this app. Up here, if you click on this little variables toggle, you'll see that we've got a variable set called theme, and it's divided into 3 modes: dark, light, savory. Default is dark, so that's what's applied to this page. We can change this to light, and you'll see that's automatically changing our design and our screens to use the light theme. So you can do this at both. I'm going to minimize the plugin for a second. You can do this at the page level. So every screen and every component on this page has now been updated to use the light theme. You can also do it at a page specific or any layer within Figma you can change. So we could go select the home screen, which is a frame, and we can go down to the layer over here, and it inherits what's on the canvas, the theme or the mode, the variable mode that's been set. But you can then change it here. So we could say, oh, everything's using the light theme for now, but we want this one to be dark. So you can create an app that might have one section that's using one theme and another section using a different theme mode within the same page within Buzzy. So the home page is now dark, all the other screens are using the light theme. I will switch this back to default just to keep things simple. So that's how themes work. The variables themselves, you can edit. So if you go to the local variables, you'll see, just make this make this a bit bigger. They're divided into modes. There we go. So there's 3 variable modes. When you have a normal Figma account, so not an enterprise level or something like that, paid account, you're limited to 1 mode by Figma. So each of these columns is a theme. So there's dark, light, savory, and it's like a collection of the variables that define what the colors and settings and so on of that theme. By default, on a free account, you've only got access to 1 mode. If the file, like this file's got 3, they're there and we can toggle between them and stuff, but we can only ever edit 1 at a time. So the workaround here is if you're on a free account and you're restricted to 1 mode, like I am here in my drafts folder, you just choose the theme you want to use, switch to that, and then just right click on these modes here, delete the others, and the one, if you're working in dark mode, that's the default, you're good to go. If say you wanted to switch to savory, delete dark and light, and savory would be the only mode you've got, and it becomes editable. So it's a little workaround for that. The variables themselves are organized as base variables. So this is kind of like our, just 4 palettes and things. There's semantic variables. So these are like our design tokens. So it's sort of defining, a content within the dark mode is by default white. There's a muted set of muted mode for content. There's an inverted mode, then there's brand and so on, accent, successful, and then going to the semantic kind of tokens, the colors. These are then used. The same applies to backgrounds and borders and so on. Also things like spacing, sizes, and border radiuses. So again, they're defined per mode. And then we have, so there are semantic tokens, and then they're then applied at the component level. So an action bar, for instance, has got a content mode default, it's got a border setting, it's using a weak border and background weak. And so on. Badges, you can see there's default badge, a brand badge has got, obviously the reversed on a color as the content, and the background is using the brown color. So you can sort of build up a system like this. If you want to quickly change all the colors in theme, go down to your semantic colors. If you just want to change a component, go to the component variables and change those. That's assuming obviously you want to keep using variables to define this. Otherwise, you could just flatten it, use this file, go and choose your colors from anywhere and whatever, publish to Buzzy, and that'll work too. But if you want to keep things easily editable, working within the design system is a good idea. So yeah, that's how the variables and the themes work. Now looking at our app, this is obviously done as mobile first, it's responsive, but for my app, say I had in mind more of a desktop theme, like I wanted it to be a desktop app. I'm not really fussed on responsive in this use case. For example, if we go look at let's go look at the project screen, we've got tasks, project list, project detail. So when we jump down into the project detail, so this is the screen I want to edit. If we jump back over to our demo, I haven't updated or republished, so this is still using dark mode. But this is our project details screen, and I really want to change this to be more of a desktop feel, and I want to add some extra content and sort of change this to more like a standard project management app. So I could go in and edit this particular screen, or I could drag this over here so we can see what we're doing. It's fine. Or I could go and create a completely new interface for this screen. So let's go ahead and do that. And we can use the Buzzy components and the toolkit to do this really quickly. So we'll create a frame on the canvas. We're going to use we're just going to fill it with the background color for our current theme. So semantic background. So if you search for semantic, you see all those design tokens. So background, we're going to use the base. The size of this, let's make it a desktop. And we'll call this project details in project details. Okay, so this is going to be a desktop kind of layout. We have the base for it. Now let's figure out, I want a nav bar at the top rather than just a back button. So let's put some things on here. We can go to our assets panel up here, and this shows us all those components that are on the components page. I can drag them onto our page here. So there's, we make it a list, scroll through them. We want some buttons, so I'm going to drag 2 buttons up here. And you note how the button, because my main canvas, sorry, my component canvas is set to use the dark theme, but this screen is using the light. You'll see as I drag the button into the screen and drop it, the light thing gets applied. There it is. So 2 buttons. What else do we want? We want, I'm going to put a title, obviously, so I'll put some text in. This can be the project title. And again, our styles apply here. I want to make sure that I set the field color to use, again, my content default color. And it's going to be a title. I'm going to use a large type style, but I'll make it not bold. We go for kind of an elegant light look. So it's got a button. This one's going to be our nav button. So the way you can configure, you'll see this is a component instance. So this is inheriting all the settings from our component master in Figma. But we can change things. We can change its type. So it's going, instead of being primary, I'm going to have a secondary style for this. It's going to be enabled. I want an icon, so we can turn icons on. So there's an icon on the left and whatever. This button I actually don't want any text. So I'm just going to have icon only, and the icon's going to be our nav icon. So we can search for menu, and it's a menu icon there. And so we've got a, okay, so there's our nav button. This one might be the edit button for the project. So it's again, we leave this one as primary. We can change the icon to edit. Oh, actually, sorry. Let's do pencil. Let's hit the pencil. There we go. So we've got a nav button, edit button. We've got the title, and what else can we add here? We probably can put search in, because search is very handy to have. Let's go for input, and we want to input with icons for this. So I'll drag that on the screen. Okay, put that right. Now again, we can configure this. It's enabled. We don't want an icon on the left, but we do want one on the right, and this is going to be a search icon. Here we go. And the value can be search, placeholder text. The other thing, this thing's a bit wide. Let's make it like 220. There we go. We'll search. There's a search field. So we're building up a masthead for our new screen very quickly out of the components. The other thing we might want to put in here is like a user profile thing. So we'll just grab the avatar one. There we go. Change its size. There we go. So at the moment, this is just building up things out of the toolkit, and we can mark these up later with Buzzy. But for now, let's just build a masthead. So we've got the things we want. So the thing we need to do now is probably want to sort of wrap these in something. Okay, so we can select all these. I'll jump back to our layers. I've selected these items, and you can frame selection, right click, or Shift A wraps it in an auto layout very quickly. So there's one from the shortcuts. So let's put a frame around our items here, and so we can call this, I don't know, masthead, app bar, whatever. It's an auto layout. You'll see it's set to hug width and height. What we really want to do is we want to fix the width because we want it to scale with our screen. So we'll fix the width, but leave the height to hug. Let's give it some spacing. We want to, so it's automatically kind of spaced everything evenly. Put 230 pixel gap in. We don't want that. Let's say we want to apply. We can use spacing variables. We can punch in whatever number you want. We're just going to use variables because they're easy. So 16. Everything's now separated by a 16 pixel gap. We want to put some space around it as well. So let's go to 24 left and right, and probably the same. There we go. There's a masthead. What else? We need this to be. I want to set it up against the top of the screen and fill the screen. So now we want to make sure that our constraints, we want to constrain it to the top. We want to constrain it left and right as well. So now if we resize our screen, the masthead will scale with it. Going to our mode, you can see that. Okay, so masthead's in the right position. Let's give the border as well because yeah, it's a bit hard to see where it ends. So we'll give it a stroke. Again, we've got to search for our semantic, and we're just going to use a weak border, and it's going to be at the bottom because we don't want to go around. Okay, so we've created a masthead component. What else do we want to do? We probably need to space these. I want the search and the avatar to be on the right and these items to be on the left. So we could add extra layouts in there and use auto layouts and flex positioning, which is what auto layouts technically are. To do this, the quickest way for now is I want the project title itself to be to take up as much space as it needs. So if we set this to a full container, you'll see it's pushed everything to the right, and this will apply if this resizes as well. There you go. So that's our masthead. The other thing we now need to do is probably look at how this will behave. Actually, we should give the background color to, let's give the background color of, there we go. So now we can see it. It's positioned on the screen. The other thing you need to set up is your screen behaviors in terms of scrolling, right? So there's our frame, that's our screen project details. And if we go to prototype, we want to be able to scroll content in here, right? So anything in the body that's going to be longer than our viewport, we want to be able to scroll. So just apply scrolling to this screen, vertical scrolling. And we probably want the content to scroll behind the master. We want the master to always be up there. So if we select this, and again in the prototype tab, so there's our master in the design view. If we go to prototype tab in Figma, we can position it, and we want this to not scroll with the parent. We want it to be fixed and stay in place. When we do that, we'll see over here it's been given a fixed heading in our layers panel, and then there's other stuff that can happen in the scrolls. So this is like kind of been pulled out of there. It's got a masthead. What else? When we're in a project, we probably might want to define we break it up into sections. So you might have like a view of the tasks. We might add some assets to it. We might add a way of getting to the settings. We might add, you could add people and so on. So one thing we might want to do here is we've got the main master. Let's add it. And remember, this is the screen we're kind of trying to rebuild. But we can break this up into sections. So let's add tabs. So if we go look for tabs, we have a tabbed interface here. It's a tab menu. And we'll drag this onto our body as well. Go back to our layers. See, that's been placed in the scrolls area. Let's go and set some parameters here. So there's our tab menu. We probably don't want to show all the tabs, so we can turn some of those off. And let's set it to, actually we'll go full width, which will mean that it's scale these to be wider. They'll take up more space, and we want this to, just like our top nav, we want to position it. We go to here to positioning constraints. We want it to be left and right, and also it's to the top, but this time just below the nav. Into the left, into the right. There we go. We've got 4 tabs. We haven't defined what's on them yet, but let's just fix the width. Height is set to hug, which is fine. We could actually space them down a tiny bit. There we go. Let's leave it there. That's fine. And we also want to, let's fix these as well. So they'll be fixed under the masthead. So we'll go back to prototype and get these to stay in place as well. Give these a background as well. They've already got a border. Let's show some more properties. So this is a component instance tag menu. And it's been set to sort of show you the stuff to change in the component instance, like variants and so on, but we can also show more properties which will expose things like colors and settings and so on. Let's give this a fill, and we'll make it same as the masthead. So there we go. We've got pale colored masthead and the pale hub area, and then we've got a content area. So this might be, so we get a project dashboard. Actually, let's just call this tasks. We might have, I don't know, board view. We might have assets, settings for our project, and so on. So we might have different tabs. So our first tab here is tasks, and that's already set to be active. If we in our design wanted to make the second tab active, we can select this, go down to tab 1, turn that one as inactive, and turn this one on to active. We could add icons to these as well if we wanted. I won't for now, but you can turn these on and off and then go and swap the icons out. So it's all set up, pre-configured, and the stuff's easy to use, and then you can use this to quickly get something on your screen. You can then detach it from the component and just go and edit it as you see fit in Figma itself. But leaving it as a component instance means it keeps the theme, keeps all the settings, and it becomes easier to then update the whole design. So we'll leave it at that. I don't need the icons and that tasks. That tab needs to be active. Okay, now let's add a content area. So we'll go new frame onto here, and it's going to be our body. It's a body, and as before, we want this to be set to the left and right. It's going to go in a fixed width. Good. Actually, let's make this an auto layout. Go down, make sure we set this back to fixed. And what else? We probably want to space some stuff inside here, so using the space for the desktop app. That's not very stuff to work with. There we go. So now, if I drag some stuff into our body, there you see it's set to scroll. There's some text or whatever we want, but it'll scroll with the viewport. This stuff won't. And the body can inherit the background cover of what's behind it. So what we want to do here is let's put a table of tasks in. If I jump down into here, see that's a view, there's a table group. It's already set up and marked up. So let me see if we open the plugin, we could copy things across, or we could create from scratch. Let's create from scratch. Oh, let's copy this across, and then I'll show you how to create one from scratch. So let's just open the plugin and just see where I want to create this one. Okay, there we go. So that's our table group. Let's grab this. It's got a name, but probably going to have to rename this. There we go. We've dumped our table in here, and this is off the existing screen. It's already set up because it's using the component. There's all our task title, status, priority, and due date. That's pretty good. Let's go and change some of these things. So that I think that's set up to be the image for the task. And we should give this project. I'll give this a unique name. That's Buzzy's going to not like this. Here we go. We can get rid of this. There we go. So we have a table which is going to display our tasks. We've got an edit and delete button, we've got some pagination controls, and if we jump down into these, because I've grabbed them from the existing Buzzy screen, they're already marked up with Buzzy stuff. So that's actually a pretty handy bonus. Let's change a few things about this table though. I want the task title and text to be, the task title to be a wide cell, and these ones can be narrower. So plugin. This is all kind of drag and drop. So let's go have a look at that. If we set these to fixed width, go make that one, and then maybe 120, due date, I don't know. How wide should a due date column be? Maybe. That's going to be long. Priority, that's going to be pretty low, pretty simple. Like this, or and then the status could be same. There we go. And you'll notice that, so these have got fixed widths. The task title is set to fill. What else do we need to do? And we can delete. This has all been separated. So we can delete these. What else have we got? Cells. We don't need these cells. We've got a table body row. This has come off the table component, but we can do that. There we go. So it's been separated from the table component. If we drag a new table component on here, just to give you an example, dump that into the body. This is a raw table component, and if we go look at the layers, it's a table group. It's got a header. You could put some buttons in there, there's footer, and so on. all our columns. These aren't yet marked up with Buzzy Markup, but they are configured as Figma elements. So you just be editing this and then adding Buzzy Markup. Because I've been able to copy one with Buzzy Markup, save some time. You might want to say that's a row. So Buzzy, when it's building a menu, only really cares about the first item. So it knows this is a, we go look at our design tab here. This is our row, and it's set to navigate to our task details, and it's set as the repeating element. Right, so this, however many tasks there are, this will repeat and build up a menu or a table of our tasks in this project. That's great, this is all Buzzy needs, but if we want our design to look a bit more realistic, we might copy these. Render them in Figma, but we don't want Buzzy to deal with them. So you could copy this row. Let's just, there we go. And then all we do is we clear all the role assignment and hide it. So the first one set as our repeating element. This is the one we care about. The second one we don't as a repeating element. We can basically we can just clear children and clear roles on this layer, and then so we're going to do that, and so we can mark it as ignored now. So Buzzy won't do anything with this layer, it's just there as a visual filler in Figma. We can now copy this, paste, let's plug in, and again, we can sort of, there we go, build up our screen so it looks a bit like a real screen. What else? Well, we probably want an add button, so let's go add. We want to add tasks. So we can add a button to our content area. There it is, and again, this secondary button, icon on the left, label will be task, and results. There we go. So we very quickly built up a screen in Figma. The next step is to publish this, obviously. We also want to mark it up, so Buzzy, so we've under the design tab, we need to make sure this, so this one's called, it's our project detail screen. We're going to call this screen, it's going to be a screen, screen type, and it's going to be the same as this one for now. Set as an overlay, so we'll leave it as an overlay just so that the now keeps working. What else? We need to be able to get back, so there's a back action on this button, right? With those overlays. This is the beauty of working in and sort of been set up. We can just copy functionality as we need. So that's the close button. Action is close all the overlays. We'll apply that to this, even though eventually we'll probably change this to open menu. So there's our button. It's going to be action, and we're going to close all overlays. So now we can get to this, and we can close it. What else do we want to do? We need to bring in the project title. So if we go look at our item title, that's a field, project title, context, and summary. So we can come up here, it's a field, find our project title, it's plain text, and it's going to be in summary mode. What else? Well, we probably want to get to the edit screen, so we'll select this button, and this would be a navigator. Go look up here, we've got one set up for the button is right. There's our edit button, and this action, navigate, and we're going to edit project. That's the screen we go to, so we're going to go to this, going to have an action, navigate, and we will go to edit project. I'm going to pass the current data. I think that was what it was doing. Yep, that's it. So now we have the screen. The other thing we need to do is, so it's defined as a new screen for Buzzy. Buzzy will recognize this when we publish. The other thing is obviously we need to launch this screen. So everywhere we link into this project detail screen, let's link to our new one instead. So that would be, for instance, on the project list. So we scroll down into the menu. There's our project. There's our action, that's our menu of projects, and the navigation goes to project details. We want to go to project details new. Where else do we get to this? We want to get to this from the home screen. Go look at our card and it's the action, navigate, and we're going to go to project details here. There'll probably be, might be one or two other spots, but that'll at least give us an idea of what we're doing. We'll be able to get to our new screen and we'll be able to come back. Yeah, that's it. I might change the background on the tabs to the, let's use the base. There we go. And yeah, that'll do us. So we have a light themed project screen that lists the tasks of your table and it's more desktop focused. So we've got rid of the main image here because it's not really relevant to a project sort of management app in this case. So that's our change. We need to publish this. So just for comparison, let's just jump back to our project app. So this is the screen. This is our app. This is the screen that we've currently got. Jump back to our home screen. And let's publish this update. So we've got our project details on the screen. Let's publish the whole app. So we need to go find the app. Project. That's it. That's the 6. We're going to update selected app. When we do, we need to just add the file key link. This is so Figma and Buzzy can connect and talk to each other and pass this information. Okay, that's done. So now we can click our link there. Let's open in a new tab off screen. There it is. So this is the updated version of the same app. If we click on the project, I have made a basic error. When I define this as a screen, I needed to make it responsive. So let's go back to design. Make screen responsive. Thanks for coming. Okay, here's another opportunity to show something. If I've selected a screen, I can update the current screen and that'll be a lot quicker. And the other thing is, I'm going to let's jump through this page. Come back here. Replace folder. Come back here. Okay, one is problem. Publish. Update the app again. And let it run. All right, so that's run the update. So now if I switch back to our view, there's an app. It's updated to the right thing because that's what we set in Figma. If we jump down to a project, there we go. We have a working new screen for our projects. These things should all work. There we go. That's how simple it was to completely change our app UI using the toolkit. And obviously you can go and use your own, whatever design you want, whatever Figma design system you're using or whatever. Go and bring that into your input your app and go work with that. And it's fine. So yeah, there you go. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.